The Ottomans build a vast empire is the first lesson in the history course this year. You're going to study more about other empires as well, especially those where Islam was the reason behind their strength. When we study any empire, it is better to divide it into three parts: the beginning, the middle, and the end. The beginning is usually telling how it started, from where was the beginning, who was the leader or the first person to think about it. Then we have the second part, which is mainly the achievements of the leaders and the great people who made sure that the empire was expanding. Then, we usually have weak leaders that do not care anymore or just place their privilege on the top and forget about their people. Those leaders usually lead to the decline of the empire. To study about the empire, we need to check the background or the period of time before it starts. Here we call it setting the stage before we dig deeper into the empire's news. You need to study the circumstances and the conditions that helped the empire start and flourish. There are some features that assisted in the appearance of this empire, such as the weakness and the decline of the previous controlling empires that left the people suffering. During that time, the Byzantine Empire was covering much of the land surrounding the Mediterranean Sea. It lost some of its territory to the Turkish Seljuk Kingdom of Rum. This was a culturally Muslim state. It included Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, and other countries. The people who lived in that place were called the nomadic Turks. They were a group of people who do not have a fixed home. They move from place to place in search of food and shelter. By 1300, the Byzantine Empire was declining, and the Seljuk Kingdom of Rum was not doing well either. It was destroyed by the Mongols from Central Asia. Because of the tough conditions of both empires, nomadic Turks living in Seljuk Kingdom of Rum, Anatolia, were able to conquer a small Turkish state land between the Byzantine Empire and the Seljuk Kingdom of Rum. Those people were a group of people who do not have a fixed home. They move from place to place in search of food and shelter. They were a militaristic people with a history of invading other countries. They were loyal to their own groups, yet they were not brought together by a strong central force. From this place and from those people, a strong leader emerged to unite the Turks into what would eventually become an empire stretching across 3 continents. The Turks that settled in Anatolia considered themselves warriors of Islam or Ghazis. They followed strict Islamic conduct and formed militaries that raided those who lived in the territory of the Byzantine Empire. Osman, one of the best leaders, built a small Muslim state in Anatolia, which was expanded by forming alliances and conquering others. His followers called themselves the Ottomans, and they were the first people to use cannons as weapons of attack. Their military success was also based on the use of gunpowder and horseback soldiers. Osman's son Orkan continued his father's achievements and called himself the Sultan. In 1361, the Ottomans conquered the second most important city in the Byzantine Empire, Adrianople. The Ottomans acted wisely and improved the lives of the peasants while conquering. They treated the people well and married from them to gain their trust and loyalty. When the Ottomans started to control many lands and their fame reached far, Timur the Lame decided to stop their control. Who was Timur the Lame? Timur was the leader of a small band of nomads, those who frequently relocated and had mobile lives. By 1360, he declared himself the ruler of the Chagatai dynasty of Khans and the restorer of the Mongol Empire around 1370. He then led his army for 3 decades to conquer every state from Mongolia to the Mediterranean. Timur was the last invader of Central Asia. His brutal conquests from India and Russia to the Mediterranean Sea and the cultural accomplishments of his time are what people remember him for. He destroyed Baghdad to the ground, killed everyone, and burned it. He tried to stop the expansion of the empire, but he didn't succeed. Timur had an injury earlier in his life. He had a broken right arm and right leg. Timur was permanently disabled, and he would always walk with a limp. Timur turned his attention towards China. When Timur did, he caused a war between the four sons of the Ottoman Sultan. Mehmed I, one of the four brothers, won and took over the throne. Murad II, the son of Mehmed I, was one of the powerful sultans that led to the expansion of the Ottoman Empire. Murad II defeated Ventinians, which is a part of present-day Italy. He also invaded Hungary and defeated the Italian Crusaders from this time. A group of strong leaders led the empire to its fullest strength and wealth.